Hello everyone. So today we are going over the other tasks of the lab. So until the last lab we did until this point where we were getting the IP address and showing it. So for the next task we are going to be covering task 1.1 completely, which is sniffing packets. We will be using the sniff method from Scapy. So we're going to be using this. So for the first task, it's simple. We just have to import Scapy, define the print method, and sniff the packet and print it. So here there are three important parameters, which is the interface, the filter. So these two parameters determine what kind of packets we are printing. So let's get started with this. So I'll just open my lab container and open that in terminal. So here the same docker commands tc up to start the containers. Yeah, everything is started fine. Then another terminal .ps to get the addresses of this. And we since I've mentioned we will be needing the interface number. That's important, so we can just type IP if config. Yeah, this will be the interface number. So we can just open the seed attacker as well. Doc sh and the seed attackers is 5. Just you can use the first three letters to start it. 5a1 doc sh 5a1. Yeah, now the root VM is started. So to just make the video quicker, I've already written all the code. I'll be going over and running it, but I've just written the code. So for that, it's sniffing.py is the file. So you can just use the touch command to create the file and open the file in editor and copy paste the code. Copy paste this code, but usually with copy pasting the indentation might get messed up, so I recommend you type out the code. And the important thing to change here is this, the I face. This is the interface which we're going to be using. So just go head over to your terminal and wherever yeah, you've executed this command, right, if config, this will give you the interface number. So copy the interface number and just change the interface number and save it. So yeah, now the code is ready, so we can just try executing it. So now we are in the root, so we can go to head to volumes, and let's, yeah, we have all our code here. So we can do the same chmod a plus x sniffing.py. It's executable now. Sniffing.py. Yes, now the program is running and it'll print once there's any packets flowing in the interface. To check if it's working, we'll have to log into the host. We'll be logging into host B and then we'll be pinging host A to check if we are able to sniff the packets from which are traveling from B to A. So I'll open B now. So doc sh for B it is 25C. So 25C. Yeah, now I'm in B. So I can just type ping the IP address of the other host. So that's 10.9.0.5. So 10.9.0.5. And okay, as soon as it starts pinging, here we'll be able to capture all the packets. These are all our packet infos. These are the packet IP packet attributes, which is type, code, checksum. Yeah, so our code is working. So we can just stop this, clear this, and if you want to stop the code, just press Ctrl C. You will be exiting it. So that was So that was the first step. So what they ask you to do in task 1.1 is, now we have executed the sniffing code in the root VM, right? So they ask us to check what would happen in if we execute it directly in the seed VM. So if directly you try executing it, it'll be, what would happen is what they want. So when we type ls, we have our code here as well. So what if we try to execute our code here, sniffing.py? Exactly, we get an error because this interface is there's a, initially there's no permission, so the operation is not permitted, and the interface number also won't be the same. So that's the observation you have to mention. So now let's get to task 1.1b. Yeah, these are where, so these are three other subtasks which we're going to be covering. So first, what does the first one say? So capture only the ICMP packet. So what we have to do is, since we can mention an attribute called filter, we will mention whatever filter we want. So what is this being asked is, capture only the ICMP packet. So in our filter, we are mentioning only ICMP. So this is completed. We just did this. We just executed our code already had the filter of ICMP. So this is done. So for the second one, they are asking us to capture any TCP packet that comes from a particular IP with a destination port of number 23. So this will have to change. So I'm again showing I'll be typing the code ahead of time to save time. So that's, yes, this code. So you can pause the video and like reference it. So what I'm doing here is, so as per the requirement, capture any TCP packet that comes from a particular IP. So I'm deciding the source IP is 10.9.0.6 and the destination port is 23. So that is mentioned as well. So destination port is 23, and I've created a filter expression based on both of these. So filter expression is TCP and SRC host, where SRC IP is this, and TCP is because they asked us to capture a TCP packet. So that, and source IP and destination port number is being passed. Then when we execute this, we are appending the filter expression here to the sniff function, and that's going to sniff based on this filter expression. So the only one thing which I'll have to change here as well as the interface. So I updated the interface, saving it. So now I'll just go here, go to lab setup again. So ls, just making sure I saved it. ls, is that the correct name? Yeah, task1 underscore 2.py. Okay. Now when I start the task, yeah, it's running. Now when I try the same thing where I try to ping here, okay, it started pinging, but it won't capture because this is not on port 23. We have mentioned the port 23, so it'll be capturing only 23 port 20 packets which are going to port 23. So to create packets to flow to port 23, we'll have to use the telnet, which is a TCP connection. We can create a TCP connection using telnet, so that's why, and the TCP connection will be on port 23. So we use telnet, and we use the destination address. As soon as we type this, yeah, here you can observe all the packets are already captured. So you can just type seed here, password, and there you go, you've captured the packets again. Any command you type will be capturing packets. Oh, yeah, will be capturing packets. So you can just type exit to exit from it. Clear. We're back in our original container. Clear. So 25C, that's 10906. 25C, we're back here. So that we have executed this as well. So we capture TCP packet that comes from particular IP and with the destination port of 23. Now for the third task, we'll have to capture that comes from or goes to a particular subnet. A subnet is basically the prefix of an IP address. So here they mentioned 16. So this value is the subnet value. So and we should yeah, we should not pick the subnet which VM is attached to. So let's just use another subnet. So for this task, what I've done is I've chosen the subnet which they have mentioned. So 128.230.00.16, 128.230.00.16. So if the filter expression for capturing kinthans is in this subnet is so net, and we pass the subnet value and the same. Here we sniff on this particular subnet. And we don't have to use the interface because this is a different subnet and it's not on our current interface. So let's start with this. So, so chmod, we make that task underscore 3.py executable task command underscore 3.py execute. Okay, we started sniffing. Now if we try and ping this IP. This IP is not part of that subnet and this belongs to our own interface. So when we try to ping this IP, we wouldn't be capturing any data. See here, we're pinging it, we're sending it packets, but we're not capturing any data. So this filter only works for that particular subnet. So if we want to check for that particular subnet, we'll have to pass an IP which is part of the subnet. So that's going to be 128.230. So you can do 128.230.0.1. This is part of that subnet. When you press enter, it starts pinging, and there you go, you're capturing information. So that part is done as well. So we've completed all of the subtasks as well. So task 1.1 sniffing is done. Thank you guys.